think there's so much growth and opportunity for content folks.
There's greater emphasis now on people in content roles. CMOs are seeing they're going to have more content creators in their organizations.
There's so many avenues that you can go down, so many paths you can take.
We've just finished one of the most important pieces of research that I think we've done in our history.
We are so excited to release the first ever Content Marketing Careers and Salary Outlook. We really wanted to dive deep into key issues for content marketers, like work-life satisfaction, career development, and pay expectations.
I think one of the most positive things that came out of the salary survey was how satisfied we are in content marketing as a practice and how successful we feel at it.
Your goal as a marketer is to be the world's best marketer for your company.
It offers rare insight into the aspirations of content marketing professionals.
Do you want to follow the content path upwards? Be the director of content, the head of content, the VP of content, the chief content officer.
If you love the intersection between art and science and the creative and the technical, this is exactly where you should be. This is the most fun you're gonna have in your career.
Content turns out to be this great superpower.
Hello, everyone. It's Amanda with the Content Marketing Institute. Thank you so much for joining me for this week's Ask the CM World Community live stream, where each time we dive into a new topic with an awesome guest from our CM World community. Today's live stream is brought to you by the Content Marketing Institute. And if for some reason you don't know who we are the leading training and education organization for all things content marketing. You can head over to contentmarketinginstitute.com to see what we have cooking. We've been very busy over the last month or so. We released our first ever career and salary survey with some really great insights for content marketers, our annual B2B marketing research, new research on video and content marketers. So if you head over to contentmarketinginstitute.com, if you don't want to miss out, I would suggest you sign up for our newsletters so you can see all of that great content. All right, today, do you use TikTok to Google information? You may not be using TikTok for search just yet, but it appears that Gen Z sure does. So today we are going to chat about this trend and what this means for content marketers. So as always, as you join me today, say hello. Let me know where you're joining us from. Ask questions and comments. It always makes for a more engaging live stream when we hear from you. We had a great conversation going last time when we had our video live stream. So I'm hoping that we hear from all of you today. So to get that started, I'm going to ask you a question today. How many of you are using TikTok? And not personally, but your organization or your company. Are you on TikTok? How are you using it? Feel free to share your profile so we can check it out. We'd love to see some real world examples from TikTok. So let us know. I'd love to hear if some of you are using it as well. And I see some of you are already checking in. Lavinia from Toronto, Jen from Arizona. Thank you so much for joining us. All right. How about this? TikTok is the fastest growing social media site ever. So content marketers probably need to take notice of it if you haven't already. And as I said, Gen Z, when they're looking for certain types of information, they're Googling it on TikTok. So this trend has even caught the attention of Google. A Google executive recently confirmed that internal research for 18 to 24-year-olds showed that 40% of young people, when looking for a place to say, go to lunch, they're using TikTok or Instagram, not Google. I still Google for what it's worth, but I'm old, so that shouldn't be a surprise. So today we're going to chat about lessons for content marketers when it comes to search and TikTok. Again, if you guys are using TikTok, I'd love to hear about it. Let us know in the comments. Share your profile so we can see it. Thank you all who are joining us. Carolyn from Washington, D.C., Cody from San Diego, Dorothy from Detroit. Melissa from New York. We love it. Thank you guys. And I hope you will continue with the comments and questions. All right. Joining me today to chat about this, I just met her. She's super lovely. Adrienne Shears has created a social media marketing solutions for organizations such as AARP, Cision, Discovery Education, Lego Dimensions, The Root, and more. She founded her own social media consultancy, VV May. VV May Labs, got it right. You can find her often featured, especially recently in ABC News, Adweek, PR Week, Reagan's PR Daily, Sprout Social, and more. Hello, Adrienne. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
This is so awesome. We have a ton of people joining us, Turkey, Kenya, Paris, from all over the world. So we're super excited to have you on. All right, Adrienne, when you read about this trend, or you started hearing about it, so you went out and decided to conduct your own focus group to learn how is Gen Z really using TikTok for search. So what did they tell you? How are they using it, and why are they using it like they are?
So they were very candid. They love using TikTok specifically for like lifestyle searches. So where to eat, makeup to wear, fashion choices, planning vacations, fun things like that. The reason why is they want the visuals. They need a 360 view into these searches, and they felt Google just wasn't sufficient. They also thought the Google searches were a little irrelevant. They had a lot of ads, and they wanted to see different things. And they loved that the algorithm, TikTok's algorithm, really knew them well. And so they felt like the searches were more relevant. They also can look at content from creators. So not just what the brands are saying, but can get a 360 view in not just the video, but I can see different creators or customers talking about the same place.
But I think it's also important to remember that they still use Google, right? They're still using Google, but for very specific things. So Google is still important for marketers, right?
Yes, Google definitely is still important. So Gen Z, they did say they will use Google either to verify information they've seen, to get more information. For other types of information, they said like for health, if they don't feel well, they will go to Google because they view that as more credible. And think about Google. Yes, they're using TikTok to search, but you can now Google a topic and TikTok videos can show up. And then Google is also evolving. They have for their, I believe their iPhone, they have a discovery feature, or sorry, Explore, where content is coming up. And they also have like neighborhood vibes. A lot of Gen Zers, they did not grow up with a paper map. So for us or millennials older, we know Google Maps, it looks like a map, but for them, what is a map? So they Google launched a new feature. You could see kind of the vibe and see what a neighborhood looks like, not just a paper map. So Google will definitely still be relevant, and it's doing different changes to make the content more relatable. They know that people are having issues, so they're going to make changes. It's Google. They are very popular, and they're not going to go away without a fight. So definitely don't sleep on Google.
Yeah, and I think it's just important to remember the mindset of Gen Z. Like you might, as us older folks, like, oh, they just want the video and they want it fast or whatever. But no, like if they're going, they know about fake news and they are smart. Like they're going to go, get their information from Google or a reliable source. They know.
Right. They definitely know. They just enjoy, with TikTok, they're getting the best of both worlds. They're getting entertainment. And they're able, I think the thing that they did talk about a lot for using Google is they have to keep looking. They were like, I have to go on pages and pages and pages. They don't want to do that. And with a video, they're like, I can see within the first few seconds, do I want this? And if not, I can just keep scrolling on by.
Yeah, that's an important point to remember. All right, I'm talking to Adrienne Shears here. We're talking about TikTok search Gen Z. If you have any questions for her, please feel free to leave them in the comments and we will try to get to them. And let us know. My question of the day was, is your organization using TikTok? We'd love to see it. You can share it with us. And we'd love to know how you were using it as well. So Adrian, how can brands adjust or maybe develop their TikTok strategies to take advantage of this TikTok as a search engine trend?
So they can use it in a couple ways. They can use it for listening, for example, to see what people are saying about either their brand or things relevant in their industry. They can also partner with creators. You'll notice one thing about if you do go on TikTok, you'll see, I'll give a random one, Amazon finds. That's a popular hashtag for people who love Amazon and just want to buy and find different things on Amazon. You'll notice, like, for some of those type of hashtags, the brand is not the most prevalent search. It doesn't come up first. It doesn't have the most likes or engagements. It will be generally a content creator. And so the things that brands need to think about is, do they themselves need to show up, or do creators need to show up, and do they need to then just partner with them? So really thinking differently. So I would say using partnerships, I would say listening, and then being authentic on the platform. I know some of you are probably rolling your eyes because everyone says that, but for TikTok, it really is true. Sometimes the best produced content is not going to be the best performing. And Gen Z specifically, if your audience is that, they grew up with YouTube and social media and digital marketing. This isn't new to them. And so they go out of their way to maybe avoid marketing. So if that's the case, you really need to think about, how are you going to be authentic? And if your brand isn't really authentic, meaning you don't really fit the online culture of TikTok, then maybe it's better to partner with someone else. And other brands that can kind of straddle the line, can diversify and have creators do themselves, encourage, user generated content. And of course, asking for permission if you're going to use user generated content. One thing that came up in the focus group is they do not like when brands steal from creators. And that could really turn off your customer base, especially if they're prevalent in the Gen Z demographic.
Wow, that's fascinating. Yeah, they know, right? They want to
The kids are smart,
Right.
and I guess
They
a
are,
lot of
man.
them are adults now. So yeah.
Yeah. So, do you have any examples of brands who are embracing this idea and doing it well on TikTok? I imagine there's a lot of B2C brands who are doing it well, but maybe also some B2B brands.
Yeah, I can give you a couple of examples that I personally love. So, um, I love, it's a little random, but the city of Columbus, Ohio, I think their TikTok is hilarious. Like, they will do parodies of, complaints that are coming in, to the city, election content. They use music in a smart way. So music is very important on TikTok. It actually can help boost your visibility as far as search. And then there's also research that's shown that people remember brands better when they're associated with a song. So that's something for people to think about. Another is I call it SEM Rush. It might be SEMrush, but the software company that does, helps people with their SEO. Their content is very creative, so they take it in a fun way by taking popular search queries and kind of acting them out. So one was like around a random query about how would a dog wear pants? And so they really come and bring like fun content around that and play around. I would say Grammarly is also another one. They have ways where they're talking about, for example, grammar tips. We'd expect that. But then they also have your reactions when you send an email or publish a piece of content and there's a typo in it and you're screaming. And so one of the videos I think is pinned and she's screaming. So it's something that's very relatable. And you notice for these, I guess, brands or organizations, they're not just giving a product tutorial or tips. It can also be very varied. just like I said, like fun around the industry, because content on TikTok or any social platform, if it's relatable, if it stirs up some type of emotion, like who here has not created a typo that you just after sending it were just like, why did this happen to me? That is something that we can all relate for. Another one I would say is Squarespace. So Squarespace is, I guess, a website provider. My website's built on it, a lot of people's are. So they have like behind the scenes of some of their customers. So one was a person who makes purses. So we're seeing behind the scenes of how she's making purses. So really showing like how they can, how their community uses their craft and their skills and those things, then they sell thanks to Squarespace. So indirectly, marketing Squarespace, but really showing, for example, how TikTok can be more lifestyle. It fits in because a person's lifestyle, but the person who's using it now, we're at a B2B. So kind of doing some creative things around that.
Being relatable. That's what you said, that I think is an important piece there. And as with anything, we know it's not always selling in your face. So if you're relatable and interesting. Sandra says here, I actually became more proficient at making vids by embracing TikTok as a Caribbean writer. I found my tribes there by not taking yourself too seriously. I think that's also a good point. You really allow people to get to know you or know your brand as well. Jeremy is asking, does Gen Z search for home services or professional services? I don't know what's your take. I would say maybe probably not specifically, but if they're looking for information about something related to that, maybe.
So that one, I'm not sure. The focus group, they were very focused on specific things, such as, the fashion and the makeup and traveling and things like that. So I didn't get any of that. I do know, since I've released the focus group, people from all over have felt the need to share how they use TikTok for search. And so some people have said everything from home improvement to health, which was a little concerning. One of my friends had like a health issue and was like, oh, don't worry, I went to TikTok, I solved it. And it was like, you should go to a doctor instead. So I'm not sure about the legal, but I think similar to what I said about Grammarly, right? Those emotions that tie into needing a legal service. Maybe if it were for creators, they're afraid of getting their content stolen. So I think just because I don't have an example doesn't mean it couldn't be tested out and work, because as you said earlier, TikTok is the fastest growing social network ever, and more people are starting to use it. So there's this communications agency, MGH. They had released a study. They did their communications for restaurants. They showed 53% of millennials who visited a restaurant on TikTok will then go to the actual restaurant or order out. And then they actually said it's 38% of all generations. So I say just because something is a trend now as far as what type of searches, I wouldn't be surprised if it evolved to those legal and accounting.
Well, can you imagine I like talking about tax season, like how many, you could probably do a lot of
You can do a lot of things.
Entertaining TikToks if you're an accountant or accounting agency around tax season. So, but going back to what you just mentioned about, millennials and other generations. So do you see this trend spreading to millennials or others?
I do. Since I've released the group, I've gotten a lot of comments from people I don't know sharing like, hey, I do this too, and I'm not Gen Z. And then other people, they use other social networks for search, like Reddit is popular, Twitter is popular. So it's not far-fetched that other generations come on. I will say the people who have the best user experience with the search, at least the ones who've talked to me, are the ones who use TikTok heavily, because when the algorithm starts, it doesn't maybe know you as well as someone who uses it a lot. So the people who are like, it didn't work well for me, I asked them, do you actually use TikTok? And they were like, no. Versus those who do, they're like, oh my gosh, yes, this is great, because TikTok has some history with them and knows them better than someone else. So yes, I am seeing that Gen X, millennials, and a few boomers are using TikTok. I'm going on a vacation and I have been using TikTok to look at restaurants and the hotel and kind of see how it looks. So I'm still a Google person, but I'm embracing the changes.
Yeah, once that TikTok algorithm knows you, like they'll serve you up
They'll serve you
what
what
you
you
didn't
need.
even know you needed. That's
Yes.
all. That's what they'll do. So, this has been a great conversation here. Wrapping up, because I think this sort of brings it together. You also posted something recently on Twitter and LinkedIn that caught my attention when it comes to all these social media platforms. We all know the drama and uncertainty going on with Twitter. And so, as you predicted, that more people will probably be moving to LinkedIn and posting more often over there, and that you predict people are going to be mad about the number of people twittering on LinkedIn. So basically, the mentality is like, you can't do that on LinkedIn. So, but I really loved your take on this. You know, why is it so important to keep an open mind when it comes to these social media platforms and these trends that basically change like every day?
Well, it's important because all of these social networks change. Think about how we first used Facebook, or even the perception of Facebook. When I got Facebook, you had to have an edu email address, and you were really cool if you got one. Like, I remember waiting for my Spellman email address so I could sign up for Facebook. I never would have imagined that it would be the social network for boomers, or politics. And same with LinkedIn. I remember when you were afraid to update your LinkedIn because you'd be getting called into your boss's office, or your colleagues would be like, oh, she's looking for a job. And now people are sharing like wedding photos, their kids, different work milestones, which, not weird, but the way they're sharing it about, like, oh, I was so scared when I first started, and here's how much I've grown. They're getting a lot more personal. And even with the Reddit, like, I didn't know you could use it for search, but I'm learning, myself and other people use it for that. Same with TikTok. We're seeing Google change. They're incorporating more video. I'm sure some of you guys have noticed that when you're searching things, you're now seeing some video coming up in your searches. And so with LinkedIn, we're going to, and a lot of other platforms, Tumblr, they have been reporting that more people have been using them, uh, likely because of what's happening with Twitter. So I think we'll be seeing more short form, candid content on LinkedIn. And so, whatever you think LinkedIn should be, or any platform, have an open minded, because it very well could change.
That's right. Everything you said totally resonated with me. I'm like, yeah, I mean, not that long ago, everyone was like afraid to do these things. Yeah, the Facebook and the boomers, like that it's everything changes. And I don't understand why people get so angry that there can't be something a little different. It makes it a little more interesting or exciting. So, well, thank you so much, Adrian, for joining me today. How can people connect with you or learn more about you?
You can connect with me on Twitter. Adri Shears, so ADRI Shears, SHEARES. My website, VV May Labs. And if you go to my Twitter or LinkedIn, there's a link where you can just click a contact me, or see different articles and things that I've written. And then I'm on LinkedIn, Adrian Shears. So yeah, I'm frequently on social media, so always happy to say hi.
Yes, check her out. Like I said, I've been following her and some very interesting posts and topics that you have been posing as well. So thank you all for joining us today. I really appreciate it. Until next time, I will see you. See you, Adrian.
Bye. Thank you.